Hi, wherever you're watching me from. And today we'll be talking about AI tools, right? In our previous class, we talked about the how like the internet works and how coding and everything, how we got to this place, how we got to vibe coding. So today we're talking about AI tools, right? These are tools you'll be working with. So I believe that before we build anything, we need to understand these tools and know what kind of tools we use. So I've divided the tools into different segments on my notes. So I'll just share that with you. So I classified the first one is called strategy. So before you even build anything, you need to strategize, right? So that's where the planning comes in. And the tools that are best used for planning and strategy is, the popular ones already know, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude Code, Notion. So what all those things does for you, the AI, what they do for you is they help you properly strategize and you understand, plan out what you write. So before you write any code, you know where you're going to, the description, the PRD, that's product requirement document, or like your bank of your context bank and stuff like that. So after you've gotten the idea, and the next thing is called the interface. How do you want your product to look like? Let's say, for example, I want to build a an e-commerce website, right? So I want to like what kind of e-commerce website should it be on the phone or should it be on the I want to be the mobile app like Jumia or should it be both? So that is what all those things you plan in Gemini. So once you plan it properly in Gemini or ChatGPT, then you have to get to like Cursor, Lovable, Claude Code, Codex, and they will start building it. So the interface is how do you want your website to look like? The look and feel. What kind of colors do you want? What kind of UX do you want? Do you want animations? Do you want overall? Do you want it to be overlaid? Do you want like whatever design like context you have in mind, or there are some design context you've seen before? This is where like Framer comes in. So Framer is an AI that helps. They are very very good when it comes to UI, and of course there's Dribble. Dribble has this Dribble inspo that works well as well. So the next one is generating. So now you already have like the idea of like the design you want. You've already had like a full PRD, product requirement documents that you will use. A product requirement document is a document that describes everything you want to build. So now you want to start building it. So of course, like our favorite tool that we use is Lovable, right? So that's where tools like Lovable, but it's not only Lovable. There's Replit. There are other examples like that. I think there's even Bolt. There's also Rork. Rork is mostly mobile focused. So there's Lovable, there's Rork, and there's Bolt, and there's Replit. So all these tools, what they help you do is they help you generate to move from that idea to development. So they help you generate real life SaaS web applications. Do you understand? So they are mostly web applications. So the next thing after that is agentic coding. So once a Lovable generates a code for you, the next thing you need to do is, because you still need to make some additions, some features that Lovable are not, or Bolt or whatever like generation tools you're using are not an expert in. So, but they are very good. I won't like they're very good. But of course, there's some into it like things you need to change. So that's where the logic guy, that's these agent codes come in, and that's like Cursor. We have Claude, we have Codex, ChatGPT owns Codex. So we have all those ones. There's also Replit too as well, does that too as well. So that's when they go into your code and they make those changes. And there's also, but things that once you've had like this AI help you write code and add more features, you need to store those things in somewhere. Your user details, when somebody logs in, all the people that you have on your applications, all those user information, you need to store them somewhere. And that's where Supabase comes in. Supabase helps us store information about like our users and stuff like that. And once you store your user information, some of your users might have product. Don't forget, we are building an e-commerce website. So once somebody signs in create an account, we store their username and their password. We don't store their password like in a normal password, we hash it. So that's their username, their password, details about them. But of course, when you upload images and pictures, we need to store them somewhere. So that's where hosting and optimization, all those platform comes in. I think the best one I know is Cloudinary, and it's mostly free. And so after that, let's say you want to also do like image generation and stuff like that. I think you should try out Nano. Nano is owned by Google. There's also 11 Labs. There's View. There's Midjourney. All those ones are mostly what they do is mostly image generation. So now let's say you built all your AI finish and you want to host it somewhere. So of course there's places, let me check out places that you can host your AI is Namecheap. Namecheap is one of my favorite. There's Go. So sorry, Namecheap is like where you go and buy like your street number, not hosting rather. So all those where you identity rather, so your domain name, what's about your domain name. So when you go to Google, www.google.com, So that is like a domain name, www.facebook.com, www.gmail.com, all those things. It's called domain name. So if you want to buy a domain name is just like your address on the internet. So you also you have like I said at number 135, Ozumba Madiwe Drive, Lagos Island, Lagos State. Do you understand? So that's like my address. Do you understand? So if you're also want to buy like your address for your own business or your own product or your own whatever thing you use, that address is the website you go and buy those things from. So that's where the what's this thing called? That is where all these tools comes in. So that's where like the domain name and where you can buy your email address, your domain address is there's Hostinger, there is Namecheap, and there is GoDaddy. Those three websites are the most popular ones. You can buy like your address to your website. But now, where your website actually stays, like those information, where it stays is where they call hosting platform. So hosting platforms are like Vercel is the most popular one that I use. I use it more. Is Netlify. AWS also has like their own hosting platform. All these big organizations have their own hosting platform. But the most popular ones that are user friendly and developer friendly and easy to integrate and set up is Vercel and Netlify. So, but there are other ones too as well. I will talk about that one along the way. So you don't need to cram everything, just understand it. So as we start building products, when we start shipping it, you will understand this thing. So you can easily come back to this video and get more context about it. So once you've gone, so Vercel, don't forget that's where like your informations are being stored, like information, like your own website, like the data on your website. That's where they are being stored, like your entire website itself. That code that you're writing, once you leave your laptop and it goes to the internet, that is where it stays. And there's payment, of course, payments in Nigeria. So there's Stripe. Stripe is used for international payments. You want to collect international payments from anywhere in the world. But of course, if you're like in Nigeria or in Africa, you can use what's this thing called? There's Paystack, there's Flutterwave. Do you understand? But if you want to collect payment globally, dollar, in any currency, even in crypto, Stripe is the best one to go. So Stripe is mostly used for payment. I think the next thing is so this one is also like for ops and for growth. So if you want to send your customers maybe email notifications and stuff like that, or when somebody joins your platform and I want to say hi, send them a message. Or so once when you join, you get like a congratulations message. Or when a customer places an order, they get an email from you directly. So what that comes in is I think there's something called resend. So Resend handles that. So there are other tools like that, but Resend is one of the most affordable ones. That's why I'm mentioning that as well. So those are like the basic AI tools that we use in development. So let me just reiterate it. So if you want to build an application, right? You want to build an application, you need to plan it. So you use Gemini, ChatGPT to plan. So, but the tools you use to build, the most popular ones you use to build is the Lovable bolt. Cursor and Claude Code can build it too as well, but the most popular ones that they use that are very SaaS friendly is Lovable, Bolts, and the Replit and the likes. But if the Cursor, the Claude Code, and the codex I mentioned, what they do is they help you build more feature specific. So what they do is they go down into the code level, and you can see as they are changing your code. You see the same prompting, but you can see as they are making changes on your code base. So, but the other ones that I mentioned, like Nano Banana, Vio, all those ones, and Midjourney, what they do is they do AI image generation. So when you go to ChatGPT and attempt to generate an image for you, or tell Gemini to generate an image for you, these are the tools that you integrate to your website. If you want to add AI to your website, that's Nano Banana, Midjourney, and the likes. So for identity, so your business identity, you need a web address where, for example, when you go and buy a land, right, that land is staying on a particular property. So that is where your Vercel, your Netlify, that's where you're hosting your website. That's the property. But of course, your property has to have like an address. Like, if I'm coming to your house, I cannot just tell you that I'm in your area now. I'm on Lagos side and how far away it is. My property is no, you have to tell me like your special address. So that special address is where these guys come in. The domain name, that's the www.yourbusinessname.com or the google.com. That's the address. But where the property actually is, the building actually is that Vercel, and Netlify and AWS and the like. So they are the ones that host your building. That's where your building is, but your address you can buy. That's your address. That's your domain name is where you can get it on. You can buy a domain name from Namecheap, from GoDaddy and Hostinger. There are other ones too as well. There are other like custom ones as well. So you can buy www.com, .ng, .co.uk, .co.za, .live, anything you want to buy. There's so many. There's .io, there's .ai, there's .biz, there's .net, there's so many things. So you can buy any domain name you want. So, but the most popular one is .com that we mostly know. I think organizations use .org. So different type of organization have. So government, of course, use .gov. So you mostly government websites are .gov. So these are like the AI tools that we use. So just to reiterate again, so we have for planning, we have planning tools like ChatGPT and the likes, Gemini. And then for development, we have Lovable, we have Bolt, we have yeah. Let me just stop at those ones and frameworks as well. Then for like in-depth coding, so we have Codex, we have Cursor, we have Claude Code. Those are the most popular ones. Then for AI related stuff, we want to generate image generation. We have Veo, we have Mid Journey, we have Nano Banana that is owned by Google, and we also have the ones that helps with voices. We have GPT. GPT is Nigerian based, and we also have 11 Labs. 11 Labs too. They help with if you want to do AI. Anything that is voice related is you can use GPT, or you can use 11 Labs, or anything that is image related you can use, or video and image related you can use the ones I mentioned before. That's Nano Banana, View, and Image Journey. And for storing your images, your videos, or pictures somewhere, you can use Cloudinary. Then your address, where people can find you, is that's your domain name. You can use Namecheap to get those ones. Then for where your website, your code will be staying on the internet, it is Vercel, and of course Resend for email. But there's one thing I've not mentioned intentionally. I want to keep it for last. It's called GitHub. GitHub is, you must have heard about it from your developer friends before, or people like you are in tech. So GitHub is where you do version control. I know it sounds very crazy. Like, what's version control? Like, there's a lot I am hearing at this moment. But don't worry, as time goes on, you are definitely going to have to use GitHub. Like, you have to use GitHub to make GitHub. Like, that's how crazy GitHub is. For you to make any application into it, it's almost impossible for you not to use GitHub. So everybody uses GitHub in the whole world, trust me. Both from the best and from the developer, from the new guys like you two as well. Even someone like me too will use GitHub. So GitHub is where like you do version control for your code. Don't worry, you don't need to understand it, but as time goes on, these things will make sense. So yeah, see you in the next class. And our next class, we're finally done with all the church. We are going straight into writing the code. Yeah, see you and bye.